Good deal. All right, thanks a lot for having me. We're going to just get something out of the way right away. I'm going to hopefully get a little bit of trust from all of you. Who all's done a strengths finder or talent theme analysis on themselves? Strengths finders? Anybody done it?
To your talent themes. Fair warning, my top one all the time is woo. I know, right? Somebody knows what we're talking about. So it just means that I've got way more energy for I've got enough energy for about 6 people. So if yours are going to love me or hate me, somewhere in between. So like the ratings on this star thing are going to be like a 7 out of 5 or a 1 out of 5. So just bear with me. I'm going to move around the stage. I hate podiums because I'm a woo guy. I might even walk around the crowd a little bit. Hope that's okay. And I'm also going to ask for some involvement from each of you. So I'm going to ask for some participation. If I don't get it, I'll just jump off the stage and stand right in front of you and ask your opinion. And we'll just kind of see if that gives more excitement and participation. So like Ryan said, I work with Wells Fargo. I've been there for about 7 years. About 5 years ago, I was asked to lead the operations of our audit team. And I said, that sounds like an unbelievable opportunity. A mentor of mine asked me to do it. And then about 15 minutes later, when he got me kind of like locked in and signed in to do it, he said, oh, by the way, you're going to lead the data analytics team too. No, I'm out, I'm done. I don't want to do that. He said, well, you're gonna. And about a month after that, I said, this is it. This is all I'm going to do. I love it. I can't wait to do more of it. And now I get the opportunity to lead our data innovation and analytics team within Audit. I have about 95 data analytics people. And we do a lot of really fun stuff together. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. If you want to connect with me a little bit afterwards, please find me. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to Audit and analytics. I'm not afraid to say it. It's just a reality. I'd love to talk about it. If you need an icebreaker, let's see, I coach youth sports. My son plays basketball and baseball, so I spend about, 800 hours a year in a basketball gym or on a baseball field. So it's great, and youth sports parents are as crazy as advertised. The only parents that are crazier than ball sports parents are dance parents. And so I also dance with my daughter, who's 9, and they are every bit as crazy as advertised as well. So those are 2 fun things I love to do. And then I also golf and read. So if any of those are good for you as well, let me know. We can use those as icebreakers to talk about something really exciting like audits or data. Are we all auditors? Yeah, pretty much all of us. Okay. I had to ask this last session. Do we have regulators in the room?
Technology.
Okay, all right. Good. All right, so we're mostly auditors. That's good. Fair warning, I'm going to make fun of us a little bit as auditors. It's to help prove some points. But it's us. I'm making fun of myself as well because I fit this mold as well. So I'm going to make fun of us as auditors just a little bit. I did spend some time in the Big Four. Like I said, at Ernst & Young, I enjoyed my time there before getting at Wells Fargo and into data analytics. All right, one more thing, MetricStream. Giving me the opportunity to speak right after lunch. I really love that. So I'm going to try and keep it engaging. I am going to ask for some crowd participation. So again, I'm going to step right in front of you if we don't get a reaction off the first wave of questions. All right, we're going to start with a story. I just realized I didn't grab a clicker. Don't go to the next slide yet, because it gives away the punchline. I'm going to start with a little story, though. A story about Company A and Company B. 1997, and by the end of this, I'm going to ask if we can identify the companies, so I'm going to have you all help me. Company A, Company B, the year is 1997. Company A is about an $8 billion company. Company B has not yet been formed. A customer of Company A, who eventually is the founder of Company B, uses Company A's service. And they hate it so much that they decide to start, Company B. So Company A, $8 billion, Company B, startup. Fast forward 3 years, the year's 2000, Company B, founder of this company, goes to Company A and says, you are not equipped for the future transformation of your industry. Company A CEO says, you're an idiot. I have an $8 billion company. You have no customers. Why are you telling me to run the business? Company B offers Company A a majority partnership stake in their company for $50 million. $8 billion company, $50 million is all it takes. guess where this is going to go. 2007, company A is valued at $24 million, and goes bankrupt. Fast forward a couple more years, company B is valued at over $150 billion. What companies are we talking about? What's company A? Blockbuster. What's company B? Netflix. If you didn't get Netflix after hearing Blockbuster, we had some challenges. So we're going to talk about the future of audit, and I promise we're going to come back to how that relates to Blockbuster and Netflix. Punchline today: let's not be Blockbuster. Okay, let's try not to be Blockbuster. So you all got it. Blockbuster and Netflix. When we're talking about transformation, I want to challenge all of you as auditors. Okay, here's where the poking fun starts a little bit. We'll do more of it later, but here's where it starts. Auditors, talking about transformation, innovation, sometimes you start to get a little tight. Like, okay, how about I just go audit somebody else that's innovating something? Or how about I go audit somebody else that's transforming something? I'm going to ask that all of us start thinking about how we become participants in the transformation and innovation process. And it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. I know we're going to do it. I'll give some examples in a little bit. I'm sure a number of you are doing it already, and I want to provide some additional examples today. Why now? If you haven't started this journey yet, that's okay. You're not late. A lot of companies are starting this process right now. Some companies have started this journey. And at Wells Fargo, we've started this journey in certain places. Certain places we've done a really great job. Other areas we have not done a good job of innovating and transforming. So we're on that path right now. Why now? I put 3 things down here. One, technology is more powerful than ever, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the ability that tools have to figure out what type of anomalies or what type of data exists, the ability to process volume of data is far more powerful today than it's ever been, and tomorrow is going to be far more powerful than it is today. So it's a great time now because we're on this constant, we've been on it for a while, we're on this technology upswing of the power of the technology and the tools. Second one, data is more available than ever. Yes, just because it's available doesn't mean it's good, right? I think we all know that. We get an amen from the crowd down. We all know that it's not always a good thing just because it's available, but more data is available and our control around that data is getting better. It's not great, it's getting better, and we're only going to get better at getting good data to match the volume of data that we get. The third one is the talent is better than ever. The number of universities that have majors in their business departments or just majors in their computer science departments or in analytics or business analytics, it's incredible. 2 years ago at Wells Fargo within audit, we had our first ever intern. I spent a couple hours with one of my managers and said, let's design a 3-month program for this intern. She was going to start in like 3 days. I was like, this is how much prep we had. One intern, 3 days in advance, we spent 2 hours saying, what should we have her do? So we have this great plan. Like, yeah, we're going to get her all this great training, and then we're going to give her these data sets to help us find some insights, and then we're going to have her work on this project with this audit team. So she started. 48 hours later, she was done with all 3 months of our program. Like, crap, this is a really good problem to have, but man, this sucks. So now, this year, starting next week at Wells Fargo Audit, we have 10 interns and associates starting, and they are all just as good as she was. And she's still with us now and doing this incredible work. The talent exists. Experienced talent is training themselves on these new tools and technologies. New talent, whew, they are incredible. They can do some miraculous things with data that I don't know how to do, but I can tell them about things we want, and they magically disappear and go do it for us. No free passes for us in risk management. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, so we got past Blockbuster and Netflix. Who saw Tony Scott's presentation this morning on cybersecurity? And I don't have any pictures with President Barack Obama. I wish I did, but not nearly as famous as Tony is. He's going through his presentation. This slide look familiar? I'm not kidding. I saw it I texted guys that are working with me. We had this slide for 4 months. I'm like, I swear my content is being stolen somehow. It's crazy. So he talked about the cars. This is way different. He talked about a 1966 Mustang. This is a 1965 Mustang. Completely different storyline. But in all seriousness, he was talking about the security behind it. We're gonna have a similar conversation to a degree, but I want to talk a little bit more directly towards risk management. This is crowd participation time. Okay, fair warning. Any car people in the room? Car buffs. People that really like cars or have an old car. They like nobody.
We're auditors.
This is how I like the seat of my pants. Does anybody own a vehicle? Yes. All right, now we've got the conversation. So I had to do a little of my own research. I don't know anything about cars. I'm an auditor, so I drive a Honda Accord. That's how it works. So I had to do a little bit of research on my own. I found out a 1965 Mustang didn't come standard with seatbelts. Wow. I had no idea. Did you know that? Yeah, I knew. You knew that. What other safety features, crowd participation, what other safety features did not come standard in the 1965 Mustang or any of the cars? Airbags. Analog brakes. Padded dash. Padded? Ooh, man. Padded dash. What else? What safety features did exist? Mirror. Rear view mirror? Sure. We had a mirror. That's. Had a steering wheel? Yeah. Brake light? Behind? Oh, yeah, sure. High mount brake light, sure. So we knew if somebody in front of us was stopping. Whoa. How'd you know if something was wrong with your vehicle? It was, you've seen it in a movie, like you're leaning over your smoking engine on the side of the road, right? Like, oh, good, I guess something's wrong with my car now. What's that? One more time.
Onboard diagnostics.
Oh, yeah. So we knew not a lot of safety issues. We didn't know we needed it. I actually shared this with my kids. They're 11 and 9. Didn't come with seatbelts. Like this concept that was just like absurd. Does anybody drive a Tesla? Yes. Have you found all the Easter eggs?
Sorry.
Have you found the Easter eggs?
Yeah.
You have. Have you found the? I wrote it down because I knew I was going to forget what this was. Have you found? This was so great. Elon Musk is loving me right now. The psychedelic cowbell road.
Yeah.
By the look, I'm guessing. Okay. So apparently you hit autopilot, which it has an autopilot button. Why wouldn't it? You hit the autopilot button 5 times. Anybody or your children play Mario Kart? Yeah, the Rainbow Road. Your navigation in front of you turns into Rainbow Road, and it plays "Don't Fear the Reaper" with the Saturday Night Live version. So many Saturday Night Live fans, you can hear Will Ferrell banging the cowbell while you're just like, this is unbelievable, right? That's a neat feature. But let's talk about cars today. How do you know if somebody's around you, not in front of you with brake lights? How do you know somebody is getting close to your space? Rear view mirrors, even more than that. The side little blinky guy. Like you can say, like they have no intention of getting close to me, but at least I know that there's a car around me. Thank you. That's helpful. The ability for vehicles now to predict not only that smoke's going to start coming out of your engine, but you've got low tire pressure in your left rear wheel, right? You have sensors telling you if somebody 14 miles away is thinking about stopping at Dairy Queen, they can tell you that somehow. There's crazy features that keep you safe in your vehicle so you don't have to be on the side of the road with smoke coming out of your engine. How does this apply to audit? How does this apply to risk management as a whole? Group participation. One more time.
Early warning system.
Early warning systems. Should we have early warning systems in audit or in risk management? Should we wait until something is smoking? That's why I asked about regulators. Okay, regulators are here. Should we wait until a customer finds out about it and we have a problem? Or should we be able to see in advance when something is occurring and actually do something about it? Right? How else does this help us in audit or in risk management?
Risk-based.
Risk-based. Say more about being risk-based, Brian.
if you use a car in kind of urban area, you don't need a whole lot versus in the city where you have a lot of car around you.
Rush hour traffic.
Should you spend money into all the bells and whistles that you don't really need?
Yeah. What the cost of vehicles? Have they gone way up or way down? But in adjusted for inflation.
There's some places cheaper, but I can remember they were like $2,000, $3,000 a new car.
That car was, I want to say that car was $3,400. I checked it out. But at that time, that was an insane amount of money to spend on a vehicle. So you get all these new features, you get all these incredible things to go with it that help you drive your car more safely. Somehow it's cheaper. So hopefully today we're going to learn not just about how to get a whole bunch of new technology and hire a bunch more people and spend a bunch more of our organization's money. Hopefully we're going to talk about how to do that in a way that's even more efficient as well for our organizations. Okay? All right, so since I jump around so much, I'm going to real quick check. What did I miss? All right, we're good. Okay, so I'm sure a few of you are saying now too, okay, cute story about Blockbuster. Netflix got it. It's not the Blockbuster. Yeah, we all drive cars. We like the new features. That's great. When are we going to talk about the real stuff and how we can apply it today? A couple things I'm not going to do. I'm not going to talk about specific tools and technologies. Ryan from MetricStream, he can himself or pair you with a bunch of other vendors that are here that will let you use all of them. So reach out to someone if you want to talk about tools and technologies. At Wells Fargo, we're fairly agnostic when it comes to our tools. As far as ETL type tools and tools just to get our data to do something, we use SAS, we use SQL, we use some open source tools like R, Python, we have visualization tools, so we use SAS VA, we use Tableau, we use Power BI. We are exploring some business objects type software like Alteryx. We have line of sight to some ERP tools like Automation Anywhere, Prism. There's a lot of tools, and a lot of them work really well. There are some times, I have to whisper this, we even just use Excel. That's okay, that's not a swear word. Sometimes it sounds like a swear word, but it's not. You can use Excel for a lot of these things as well. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about tools and technology today. I can answer how we do it at Wells, but I'm not going to spend time talking about tools and technology. I am going to give examples. Hopefully you can borrow some of them. This is not your blueprint. Okay? Your organization needs you to figure out what your solutions need to be. So I'm going to give you some examples and some examples that we've really found good value in within our department. Hopefully it's a good brainstorm generator. Let's take pictures of the screen. I'm sure that we can send out slides if we need it. But so I will provide some examples. What I want to try and push to is a mindset for you today. What can you take back to your organization, to your audit department, to your risk team, to your technology group? What mindset can you take back so that you can take wherever you are, if it's you haven't even started the journey, you're partway through the journey, or you're really advanced in the journey, how can you take that next step towards success in your innovation or transformation journey toward the future of audit, okay? So on our team, we use 3 words. If you're here for the panel discussion this morning, we use 3 words, and I can tell you, told you I like to read books. Start with why, Simon Sinek. You're going to read it, do it, applies to yourself, personally, professionally, and to your team. From that, you got to have yourself a vision. So every single person, I've got 95 people on my team, every single person knows we transform audit through innovation and optimization. How do we do that? By being continuous, complete, and collaborative. Every single person knows if you're on a project and you don't know how that project is transforming audit through innovation and optimization, that's not on here, but write that if you want to. If you have a project where you're not doing that, or you aren't sure how it's more continuous, more complete, or more collaborative, give me a call and we'll talk about it. Because that project's either coming off our plan, or you just don't see it yet. That's okay. Sometimes we just need that bridge. Okay? So we're going to spend time now talking about being continuous, complete, and collaborative, and then the examples are going to follow right after. Okay? So I'm going to start off making fun of audit even more. Okay? Sorry, I love audit. I've done it for a long time. I'm not a career auditor, but something I've been doing it for my entire career, so I guess I'm declaring today I'm a career auditor. Okay? Yes, some things have changed, some methodology, some tools, but for the most part, we still select a lot of samples. Pretty sure back in the shipyards, way back in the day, they would find a way to select samples of which bins to open and figure out the goods were actually in there, okay? And this idea of cycling audits, why do we only do that audit every 3 years? What if you finish the audit and the next day something happens? Are we comfortable that 3 years from now we're good telling the business, hey, 3 years ago you had this problem, hopefully you're good now? We are never going to get completely away from those two topics. And I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not the first person to admit it. I'm going to admit that. We will not get completely away from sampling. We will not get completely away from cycle-based auditing, but we need to move toward being more continuous and more complete. So the first two of these 3 items are something we can do something about. Okay? So being continuous, this is real-time data insights. This is making it so as soon as we can know something about a particular product, business, transaction type, we know it. Okay? Continuous auditing has been around for a long time. I know some people have really struggled with it. We've struggled with it. We've gotten some wins, some not. I'm not just talking about continuous auditing. I'm talking about building solutions that allow you to take a particular risk type and know it right away. I'll get into a lot of examples later. One of the things we do is we build something called risk alerts. Okay? So I go to our chief auditor, I go to all of our executive audit directors, I go to different teams and I say, what is the most important piece of data to you? What's the thing that could all of a sudden say, yikes, that's a problem? Do we have that access to that data? If not, we need to. And what about that data is so problematic? So then we can tap into that data, and as soon as that event occurs, we can automate a message, a report that goes directly to that stakeholder's inbox to say, problem. First one we did it on, I'm jumping ahead, apologize. First one we did it on was issues management. Okay? We've got, just like many of you do, I'm sure we get different ratings for our issues, low, moderate, high. And then last year we added one critical. Like, if that doesn't make you have nightmares tonight, I don't know what that's like. You had to add a new one for like, this is bad news. So we built a risk alert. We tap right into our issue management system. It's called Sharp. The second a issue is even drafted, doesn't need to be finalized. As soon as it's drafted, and in that drop-down field where you only have 4 options, you have to do it or else it doesn't let you save the issue. You have 4 options, low, moderate, high, critical. As soon as that person hits critical and save, whoop, right over to us. So we know them. And it goes directly to our audit chief and all of our executive directors. Now there's only about, I don't know, a handful of those that occur a year. So when it happens, it's kind of a big deal. We all want to know about it. We had a point a few weeks ago, one of our executive directors went to someone in the business and was talking about this critical issue that person in the business didn't know about it. It was still in draft form, there's some forgiveness there, but the reality is we can get more real time with things that are critical. Okay? Have to get more real time. So there's a whole suite of solutions we can talk about, but all of these solutions can get us to be more continuous. Okay? Complete. Anything we've worked with somebody that works in data, this is not a new concept at all. But the idea of getting rid of sampling and doing the entire population. How many of you have written a report? Let's say how many of you have written a draft of an issue where you went to the business and you said 2 out of 46 sampled out of 46 billion something happened, and the person looks at you from across the table and is like, am I supposed to care because why? You can find systemic issues from that. I mean, we've all done it. We've all been part of it at the time when we've seen 2, which really is related to a design flaw in that process, which you can extrapolate to a bigger problem. We've all done it. We know it. That's how we've done auditing. We've got to push ourselves to get away from that. Let's pull in a full population of data and use it anytime we can. I'm saving that example because I want to make sure we get to collaborate. But just one example that I just love from the complete side. Collaborative is the third one. And this one, it's not a new word, it's not really a new concept, but we have to tread a little bit lightly when we talk about it, because there's a word that's similar to it that a lot of people in our industry don't like. Anybody guess what that word is? Collusion. Reliance. Reliance. Not quite as aggressive as collusion, but not collusion. This is not collusion. Okay. Reliance. Okay. Collaborative could get to the furthest phase of it could be a form of a reliance strategy, but what I'm talking about here is question first. How many of you have innovation somewhere in your company tagline or in your mission statement or goals or values or something somewhere in your organization that says innovation? If you don't, you're probably lying. Most companies have something about innovation and technology somewhere. What we're seeing in Wells Fargo is there are teams everywhere that are popping up that are called an innovation team or an analytics team or an insights team. They come up with really cool names, and we have come with our data innovation. It's so exciting. We're finding these everywhere. These teams are popping up everywhere. And if we, as an industry, get so excited about creating our own innovation that we don't look at what our neighbor's doing and say, how can we potentially collaborate with them? We're going to really spend a lot of money. The number of licenses for Tableau are really expensive. Okay? The use of this technology, if done the right way, can be incredibly cost effective. Done the wrong way, let's just do a whole bunch of it. Let's throw 1,000 Tableau licenses at our team. Wait for the innovation to happen. You're going to spend a lot of money and a lot of headaches. Okay? So I'm asking you all to do what we've done within our organization is we have a couple of people as a kind of a side job. They just go out into Wells Fargo and find where are these teams popping up and what are you doing? Do you have a vision? Do you have a purpose? Do you have an inventory of solutions you built? What are you trying to build? What solution or what tools are you using? Who are you hiring? How many have you hired? Just scrubbing the organization to find out where does innovation exist. And once we find it, we ask those questions of, is there something here that we can use? Not necessarily advancing coverage, not necessarily providing assurance, not necessarily with an issue, but if someone's has an analytic that's done that looks for anomalies in expense reporting, and you can send a data person to look at the query and the code underneath it to determine how it was built, and then you can start to see what those anomalies are too, that's valuable to your organization. You can spend 2 hours of an auditor's time to get comfortable with how that was built, so you don't have to spend 2 FTE building that solution on your own. Okay? So you do have to be careful. We're working with our policy and strategy team to make sure, and our regulators know about it as well, to make sure that we're very clear what we're trying to do, to make sure we don't talk about reliance. And if we do talk about reliance, that we talk about the stringent parameters around that reliance strategy. But for the most part, we're just talking about how to get better insight, get the same insight that the organization has. So amongst these things, if we start with collaborative, we're golden. If we go out and we realize you're building something, you're building this thing, which is great, I'm not sure why you didn't build this thing, we can go to be more continuous and more complete in that particular area. Okay? All right, I'm going to spend a few more minutes, ample time. Okay? So we'll talk about a few of these things. These are kind of fun, to be honest. Things that we have in production right now. Happy to connect with any of you afterwards. A couple of things we've done. So on the continuous side, we do a regional banking risk assessment. So at Wells Fargo in our wholesale banking group, we've got hundreds of corporate banking offices across the U.S. 5 years ago, guess how our auditors decided which offices to go audit? Anybody want to venture a guess? What's that? That's climate. We've all been, a lot of us have been in public accounting. We know how inventory observations work. Come on, let's be honest with each other. Well, how else have they picked it?
One that been least recently audited.
Least recently audited. Yep. Space we haven't been to lately. Any other ones? Those are two really good ones. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you have an auditor in Minneapolis, man, go regional banking audit in January. They aren't thinking to lose Minnesota. I've heard Miami has a really good corporate banking company.
Low KPIs.
Low KPIs, if you have them. If you have them, low KPIs, yes, good way to go.
Volume of business or number of customers?
Volume of business, exactly. That's some pretty easy data. Okay, these are all great examples of how historically we would have done it. Okay, this last year, in March, we sent a team to Alaska, and a team to Ohio. Who wants to go to Alaska or Ohio in March? Anybody? You might go to Alaska. I mean, anytime's a good time. The reason we did that is about 4 years ago we started the process. And now we've evolved the process where every quarter, we could run it more frequently, but the audit team doesn't need it more than quarterly, so we were meeting their needs. Every quarter, they get a report that has 18 metrics across the top. And between our team, the business, and our audit team, we use their expertise to help us determine what the 18 most critical data elements or indicators are for that particular business. And all the auditor has to do to find out where to go, so they get the report, click the red ones. You don't need to be, we're all auditors, again, you see green, yellow, red. Which one are you going to click? Right? That's a simple one. We use a simple SQL query that gets a ton of information dumped into Tableau, and we have some automated reporting that goes directly up to those folks that audit our corporate bank or our regional banks, and it shows them, based on the average of all these statistics, where is the most risk to our organization. If we would have said 4 years ago we're going to Alaska, our executive director would have said, you wouldn't take a free trip to Alaska. Nobody would have picked Ohio. But 3 months ago it came up. Those are the places we need to go because they've got higher than regular charge-offs or higher than regular turnover, higher volume that we're concerned about. So we chose to go there.
Just a quick question. Because you're making decisions based on the risk rating, right? So it's red. Does that have a backward negative impact on the business? Because if suddenly we're raising red, then audit arrives. So is there a psychological play to that? So say, I say red, and oh god, Peter's here again.
Yeah. No, so it's a really good question. So this is where we have to be extremely transparent with the business and with the regulators. Okay. So we had to be very clear early on that we assess risk in this way, and this is the way our assessment in audit is going to help us make a judgmental decision about where we're going to go. So for us, if we choose, when we made those decisions about those critical risks, we ran it by management, but made it very clear this is our assessment. We're not making a different decision. We made sure we understood their input, because we're not going to go to the same place over and over again. We're not going to go to Alaska twice a year. That'd get a bit egregious. But we make sure that when we go with them, that it's well understood. This is our assessment of our understanding of the business. Feel free to have discussions with us about it. You can talk to us. Might even influence the outcome if you give us a compelling reason. But this is our assessment, and we're going to ultimately use this to drive where we go. It's no different than getting a report that doesn't have all the bells and whistles of a good SQL query and a good Tableau report. We might have based it on 1 or 2 indicators like volume or on management turnover report. Now we base it on 18, and we can do it every quarter in about 15 minutes instead of spending 4 days once a year. Yeah.
Have you had to explain that to the regulators?
Yeah.
How'd they take it?
I've never. God, careful. It was great. It was really, really good. It was the most engaging conversation I've had with our regulatory friends. I said it seriously, good relationships. Because we showed them we are not going to rely on a dartboard or a climate or a junior staff member that doesn't have a lot of business expertise to decide where we're going to go audit. We're going to go with what we know of the business to make a risk-based informed decision about where we're going to go audit. And because we're able to demonstrate that, it went over extremely well. And our issue count, it's gone up because we know where we're going, we know why we're going there. But it's been a very good evolving conversation with our regulatory counterparts.
18 seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing any kind of regression analysis with your super data analytics team to see which are the 4 or 5 things that really count?
Yeah. I can say that. You and I can talk nerd later. We'll have a ton of fun. So I want to confide in all of you. I've not written a line of code in my life. Okay. But I got my honorary data degree from my team about 2 years ago. It's like one of the proudest days of my life. Passing the CPA license, leading the team, and getting my honorary data degree. Regression analysis. In this case, we have not done a regression analysis because we've seen that those 18 indicators are fairly standard in that particular product type, in that particular business. And we've seen over the course of the last 4 years, all of those indicators have led to where we're going. But yes, we do regression in other areas of our business, in other products and solutions that we offer.
I am not an auditor, software engineer.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you're saying, continuous, right, and continuous, continuous control assessments is that, what you're talking about is visualization, so data management, that is fine. But there's a ton of system engineering activities that need to go into producing the data in the first place, right? So how are you engaging those folks in your organization? Are you finding them or having them already?
So you're talking about engaging our...
Oh, sorry.
Are you talking about how do we engage our... Was it?
Just repeat the question.
Oh, yeah. So I should make sure I got the question right then. You're talking about, there's a number of data we get, but we also have a number, with the data the way it flows, you have a number of owners of that data and IT also. Are you talking about how do we interact with our IT partners with that data?
So there is an element of data analysis and data science that goes into sort of the later stage. But in the earlier stages, you need a bunch of engineers that go into your systems and produce this data, right?
Yes.
It has to be in a very, very scalable format, mostly in a cloud form, so on and so forth. There's a ton of skills that come into play there.
Yes.
It's not just data analysis.
Yes.
So where are you finding those folks from?
Sure. So the question is, when you have to acquire the data, and there's a lot of analysis, so data analysis or data analysts. I had to explain that to our leadership a number of times. We don't have data analysts necessarily, we have data analytics professionals. There's a difference. But that initial phase of acquiring that data, getting the right data, knowing how to get it and what to do with it, it's a battle every day. I'm going to tell you, we have increased the amount of training that we have for all of us non-data auditors. Okay? We have new expectations for our baseline auditors about their understanding of data governance, data structure, data infrastructure. So they have a better context when they just go and look at a screen that somebody's hitting buttons and they get a report for their audit. We've raised the stakes for what's required for all of our auditors. We also have realized, when I said I've got a pretty sizable analytics team, all shapes and sizes of analytics folks. We have folks that are very keen on the reporting side. We have folks that are former developers and programmers. We have folks that have a data science or modeling background. We have all sorts of folks so that when we say this risk is occurring and the acquisition of this data is going to be a nightmare because it's got 15 subsystems that are fitting into this one that ultimately generate a report, we have somebody with expertise and specialty to go in and understand that environment and challenge it so that we know what data we're getting to data. There's no one-size-fits-all solution for it. We have that novelty now because of the size of our team, but that's part of the reason for the size of our team is we know we have to have folks at all the phases of the data lifecycle. And it's very, very challenging to find people at all phases of the data lifecycle. Great question. Awesome. Let's keep going. Let's make sure we have time to get you. A couple of these other ones. Issues management is a gold mine for organization tracks these in an Excel file or in a formal system, the analytics that can be quickly done are incredible. So we are more continuous, more complete, and more collaborative on issues management today than we've ever been. Okay? The reason for that is you have a lot of standard fields. Okay? What type of issue is it? Did audit find it? Did the regulators find it? Did the business find it? How much risk is there or what's the risk profile of that issue? Is it low, moderate, high, critical in our organization? That's a standard field. Okay? You've got a number of standard fields that typically consolidate to some form of centralized repository or system, allowing you to really track. There's a lot of dates in there too, that I want to say. You know when it was found. You know when the milestone is for the corrective actions. You know when it was completed. So you can look across that entire data set. Is management good at closing issues? Is audit good at validating them? Do we have a spike in certain businesses on the criticality of issues? Is one group always putting low for their issues, and then you find out later they've changed to moderate or critical? That's a trend you don't want to see. The number of trends that you can find in issues management analytics is huge if you follow a continuous, complete, collaborative mentality. First and second line, doing a lot around issues management too. In our organization and in a lot of our peer organizations, doing a lot around issues management. So a lot of them also have analytics teams or an analytics person that's thinking about these same things. Let's go to them first, see what they're doing, what they're seeing, see if we like it, and then go and do our own. Right? Last one is on collaborative. I want to mention before we get to a few more questions. Love the engagement within the group, by the way. On the collaborative side, we have across Wells Fargo what's called the Analytics Leadership Council. Large organization, obviously, but I want to challenge all of you to think about this for your audit organization and for the rest of, not just for audit, but for the rest of the organization. We've noticed the spike in analytics teams across the organization, and they've pulled together, so we have our top 30 analytics folks, myself and one of the individual of a peer of mine is on the council. We meet 3 times a year, and we talk about collaboration. We talk about what problems are we having, what successes are we having, what's worked well, what hasn't worked well, how do we partner better with our technology partners, how do we partner better with the business, what data governance challenges and successes are we finding. It does not have to be exclusively on data analytics. Think about how to connect your organization from the platform that Audit has to get better line of sight and collaboration. There are so many good things happening in your organization, I guarantee it. If you don't have a forum already, provide one. I don't think managers are going to say, no, I don't like the idea of a better connected business. They'll love it. Find the forum, push the right topics, make sure Audit has a seat. Okay? What questions do y'all have? I already had a few, which were great. What other questions do you have?
How big is your audit department?
75. How big is our audit department? Let's see here. I wish I had my piece up. We're right now with the other bigger banks. We're right at about 13, 15. Yeah. A little bit smaller than all of our peers.
13, 1, 8,
Just hang on. 1,350.
Any name more?
This is like the Ferris Bueller line. Adamson, Adam Nelson.
In reverse.
What other questions?
I agree with the data-driven audit shop that you guys talking in the previous session and today. My question is, you are not suggesting that you aim for absolute assurance activity across the board, right?
Never. So the question is about absolute assurance. These are things when you start really building good insights using analytics. First of all, the way you know it's good is you get some upset people. Okay, I'm just being honest. You've built a good analytic, you built some good data, or built some good information coming in. It's usually raised by like 16 emails going right back. Say, this is crazy. It's like, no, it's not. It's right. You're just looking at it differently. One thing you have to clarify is, as an analytics group, we are not providing insurance. Period. None. We're building solutions can provide better assurance. Doesn't even mean that it's more necessarily. That 95% number that we all love to use in the industry, probably that's not changing. We're going to keep using it. I think somehow it's a better 95%. So we're going to draw the same. We want to have the same types of the same level of assurance. We do have to be careful not to provide blind assurance or any type of absolute assurance. Don't want to be in that business.
Go ahead.
Given the size of your company, given
No,
the size,
I have the mic.
okay, you have the mic. You first.
Okay. Someone asked how many you had in the audit group? 1350. What kind of certifications do you have? CPA, CIA, CISA,
Yes.
CFEs?
Yes. And
Multiple,
all
multiple too?
yeah. A lot of CPAs, a lot of CIAs, a lot of CISAs. We've got some certifications we've got some CFPs because we audited a wealth business, and so we've got a number of certifications across the organization.
Yeah, given the size of your company, how do you develop the audit universe?
Develop the audit group.
Audit universe.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a huge pain in the neck, but I mean we go through. I mean the way you develop it is likely no different than anybody, either a peer our size or a smaller group. We start with what businesses exist, what products exist. We bring in this full universe. The way we develop the universe hasn't changed significantly. It's the way we get insight into the universe through the use of data, through the use of analytics, and how quickly we respond to changes in the universe. That's even more critical. That's our biggest change. But developing the universe, organization our size, we have a lot of people that are aligned under a common methodology, and it takes a lot of time, but we get it right. It takes a long time. I think there's one more question.
The analytics that you run off, is it mostly on audit data, or do you marry other data sets from different sources?
Yeah, we use data. We use data in the way we use data. It's different across different data sets. Sometimes we can't get some. We never use production data, and sometimes we're using a BCP server, sometimes we're using other types of data. But we do it on audit data, our internal operations. Most of our time is on stuff within the business. So we're working with data in the business about their business, about their products, about the way they run their business. Good. Really appreciate everyone's time. Hopefully you learned about being continuous, complete, collaborative. Thank you very much.